What's up guys, I'm Shane, and this is the Weekly Rundown. I'll go over the past week's videos and news in case you missed something. Earlier in the week, we got to watch Avengers Endgame on 3D Blu-ray, and
you good looking.
I gave this one a 9.8 for video. It's that good looking. If you're stuck in a flat 4K world, you're really missing out on the best way to watch this movie. Unfortunately, still no IMAX scenes even in 3D. Who knows, maybe Disney Plus will get an IMAX version. Now here's a movie I don't think anyone was asking for, Men in Black International. Luckily, it's a Sony release, so you do get some pretty impressive visuals. I gave this one a 9.4 because it's 4K crispy and really detailed. The audio wasn't bad either. I gave it an 8.9. It's got some pretty active Atmos height effects. Remember, if the movie isn't all that great, it's usually really great for audio and video. The movie comes out September 3rd on 4K Blu-ray. Now here's a movie I didn't want to review, but a lot of you kept asking. Hey man, do you plan on reviewing Apocalypse Now? So I'll just give you some of my thoughts right now. Everything that I've read or heard said this movie looks like it was shot yesterday. I suppose if you wanted it to look soft and grainy, then yeah, it looks like it was shot yesterday. Don't get me wrong, for a movie 40 years old, it looks really good. There's some detailed 4K shots, but I felt it was just soft overall. There's some really good HDR, especially from the colored smoke and the explosions, so kudos there. I also heard the Atmos mix was referenced. Apocalypse Now. Watched last night. A 10 out of 10 for me. Amazing sound. And yes, there's some pretty aggressive overheads happening with all the chop over flyovers, but the thing is, they sound like effects from 40 years ago. I guess if you've seen this movie when it first came out, there might be some nostalgic feelings. And this is probably the best looking and sounding it's ever been, especially with the sensual surround. Audio-wise, I'd give it a 7.8, and video, I'd go with an 8. It's a good looking movie and it sounds decent too. It just wasn't the 4K revelation that I've been hearing about. It's right there with 2001. So what are your guys' thoughts on this transfer? Leave a comment down below. And in tech news, Dolby has lifted their restrictions for third-party upmixing. If you're aware or unaware, Dolby didn't want any kind of upmixing or virtualization laid on top of any Dolby encoded mixes. So if you wanted to use DTS Neural X upmixing on a 5.1 Dolby Digital movie, you couldn't do that. You can only use Dolby's own surround upmixer. This change came about when the owners of DTS filed complaints to the regulatory agencies for being anti-competitive. DTS must have felt they needed a win, because they sure ain't winning at being the preferred immersive codec for 4K Blu-rays or streaming for that matter. It's always good to have choices. If you missed it, Brass Tacks and I dropped our very first episode of the Dynamically Challenged podcast. It's going to be a weekly thing, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link for it at the end of this video. Well, that about wraps it up. I'll leave links to all the videos that I mentioned in the description down below if you want to check out the full versions. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us on social media and stop by our Patreon page. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again in the next one.